Hi folks, Mark the Happy Griller Guy here with another recipe and one more smoke on my Asmoke Portable Grill. I wanted to do a little bit of a pork loin today, and I like doing the pork loin because it's a quick smoke. This loin that I have here is about 1.5 pounds, and this is just going to take a very short amount of time. I smoke it right up until about 140, and it's just so tender, and you could really get this going before dinner on a weeknight and go ahead and have something smoked and some smoked meat by the end of the cook there and for dinner. So I'm going to just get it on. And a couple things about what I do. This cutting board is my one of my cutting boards that just has raw meat. So if you're using cutting boards and you're doing different things with your cutting boards, I would just take a cutting board and just keep it for your raw meat, all the raw stuff that goes on it. And then if you're going to do cutting of vegetables or anything else, you could use another cutting board. I clean them all and I disinfect them afterward, but it still is great to just have one that you use for just your raw meat. Now I'm using my rub. This says Mark's Rub. It's not really Mark's Rub. I looked at a lot of rubs for a long time, and I do love doing a dry rub on most of my pork. Sometimes I'll inject my pork. The loins seem to be really, really tender, so I don't know if the injection really makes that much of a difference to me. But the rub recipe, if you'd like to take this down, I use Jeff's Rub. And if you go to smokingmeat.com, it's actually smoking-meat.com, you're going to see Jeff's Naked Rub. And they'll tell you how you can get a hold of that recipe. And you make it up. It is so good on everything. I'll not only use it to rub on the different meat that I smoke, but I'll use it for a seasoning in different things, like the cream cheese inside of my poppers and things like that. We'll do a video on those. So right now, I'm just going to go ahead and do a little bit of rub on this guy here. I trimmed some of the fat off. I'm not really that interested in a lot of fat or a fat cap on this. This is going to be so tender, and it's going to be one of those things that when it comes out, it should just melt in your mouth. Won't pick up a ton of smoke because it's not going to cook that long, but pretty much you're going to be able to get it in the smoker, and as I said before, get it out for dinner as opposed to some of those long smokes, 5, 6, 7, 10 hours. This guy is ready, and I'm going to put him right over here. I'm going to take him out to the smoker. I'll be right back in just a second, and we'll get the smoker fired up already, so we'll get this guy on the smoker. We're going to try out the probe and the temperature for our meat and see how that's going to go. So I'll be right back. Okay, so got my Asmoke getting up there, right up to about 230. Between the 225 and 250 is fine to get this guy on, and it is going very well. Lots of smoke. I'm going to put my loin right here, and let's get this temperature right inside there. I'm going to do it right through the middle, and we're going to close that right on that. I've been using Traeger pellets. I got the first bag of the Asmoke apple pellets, and I used those first when I did the ribs and everything, and I have to say, they were fantastic. I use these Traeger ones now because I did run out of the Asmoke. Traeger seems to be great. They smell pretty good. Those apple from the Asmoke were fantastic. So I'm going to try to get my hands on a little more of the Asmoke pellets as soon as I possibly can. We're going to let this guy smoke for a little while. I'm going to watch the temperature gauge, and we're going to see what it looks like when it's finished, and we'll do a taste test. So stay around. Hopefully everything goes well on this. I'll be back. And we are back. Now, I had a little discrepancy between the Asmoke temperature gauge and my temperature gauge. I've got this guy up a little higher than I really wanted him to, but just wanted to make sure that I got the doneness that I was looking for, and he's looking pretty good there. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to pull this temperature gauge out here. And I'm going to put him right over here. Grill performed very well. I mean, it really kept it up just around the temperature that I was looking for. The temperature gauge started jumping around when it was when I first started. It was kind of jumping around, up and down, really crazy numbers, kind of like what it's doing now. It jumped to 136 and 134. It's not even in anything. Then it kind of settled down when I got it in the meat for a minute or two, and it kind of kept up with my other temperature gauge that I have here. And then it kind of got a little bit higher, was running about 10 degrees higher than mine, which I've used before. I'm going to take the other probe out of that. That is looking good. But what I want to do right now, I want to wrap it. I'm going to wrap it really tight in tin foil, and we're going to let it rest a little bit. Then finally, we will go ahead and do our taste test. Pork loin taste test coming up. Stay with me. And we're back, folks. So what I did was I took my pork loin off the grill. I wrapped it really tight in aluminum foil. I usually wrap it very tight twice. 2 pieces of heavy-duty aluminum foil. I will stick it in my trusty cooler, and you can see what I did. I'll show this to you here. I have a towel on top. There is my pork loin and another towel on the bottom. And you can keep it, once you wrap it like this is hot and this is cruising into being done very, very well. But you can keep it inside of that cooler for a while, even if you do like a pulled pork or something, and just wrap it up really tight and keep it inside there. It's going to keep it nice and hot, and it's going to cruise into a finish. So even if you undercook a little bit, it's going to finish right inside there. So let me just move this. And I am so excited because it is exciting to do a reveal. This is my official grilling and warming towel. You can see. I'm going to stick that right there. We'll put this here, and let's see if we can get a good look. I'm going to get this camera down here just a little bit more. And we're going to get a little bit closer because you don't want to see me. You want to see this pork loin. And I think it certainly came out very well. You're probably going to see some juice coming out there. And yeah, there's all that juice in there. Oh, and it smells fantastic. It has just this incredible smell. And I'm going to move that right over to this board. There's some juice. I'll always drop that juice right on top of the plate when I'm serving this. But let's cut right into it and see what we have. And we'll just turn that out, and looks like we have a perfectly done pork loin. You can see the juice coming out of it. So for the folks who think that smoking gets rid of all of the juice, makes it not as juicy, look at that piece there that I cut off. I'm cutting right in the middle, and you can see. Can you see how shiny that is? That is shiny. The juices are dripping out of that there. And the smell, you can get that smell of that apple smell with the pellets, which is what I like. And if you look, even though it wasn't in there that long, you start getting that little bit of pink around, which is the first thing that I noticed when I smoked my ribs, that you actually do get that smoke ring, which you don't mostly get that in the electric smokers. You'll get this smoke ring when you use wood. So the ultimate test, though, is, of course, seeing how tender it is and seeing if it has that taste that we wanted. This is the most exciting part. Oh, that is an incredible pork loin. And you know, I'll tell you, a lot of things going on there when you're putting the rub on this. you're getting it in the smoker, you're smoking it with those apple pellets. A lot of things are going on, and when I'm speechless, this is crazy. This is so good. And you can see, this is literally dripping down my fingers. So for the folks that, and pardon me for talking with my mouth full, for the folks who think that you're just not going to get that juicy piece of meat, this is incredible. One of my next purchases, like I don't have enough stuff, is to get a slicer so you can slice this stuff up and keep it. I'll talk a little bit about my vacuum sealer that lets me seal this so it lasts a lot longer, but this is incredible. I'm going to call this done and call this a very successful smoke. I hope you checked this out and you thought it was helpful. If you want to add any comments to the bottom, you can. Let me know what you want to see, and the Happy Griller guy will put it on for you. I've got a lot of things coming up. Some of my favorite smokes, my favorite meats that I do, and some little different ways of grilling. So I hope you stay with me, and I hope you have fun. I'm going to continue eating this because this is amazing. Thanks for stopping by.